Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of my classic Season of Discovery gold making guide. So a profession I never really level is fishing, but I'm kinda surprised how much gold you can make with this profession even as a low level character. So in the beginning I just level up the profession in the main city at an area with a lot of water. And then I move to other areas, for example close to shores in the open world or here in Barrens. What you should mainly be looking for is different fishing poles. In these there's a high chance that you'll get different fish that sells for anywhere between 5 silver and almost all the way up to 30 silver. This is of course the current price on my server, on yours it might be lower. But what I quickly noticed was also how fast all of these poles spawned. It was actually quite decent and I never really had too much downtime. And remember, right now I'm just leveling up my fishing. Sometimes I could even find a fishing debris, and in here there could be many different materials. For example, strangled kelp that sold for more than 10 silver on my server. What I really enjoyed about leveling up fishing were that I found so many different random things I could sell on the auction house. For example, the rum, different trunks that contained materials from other professions, yeah, even higher level trunks that allowed me to collect materials that will be useful in phase 2. By leveling this profession from 1 to 125, I made around 15 gold. I guess it's pretty decent for just leveling up a profession, because when you get to 125, then it's also going to be the time where you'll make a lot of gold. Just remember to also get yourself a decent fishing pole. The higher fishing skill, the higher chance of also successfully fishing. And sometimes if you don't have a high enough fishing skill, you might also fail, and this could even cause the shipwreck to, for example, disappear. Another profession that has made me a ton of gold is herbalism, especially if I find wild Steelbloom or grave moss. The reason why grave moss is so expensive is because this is material you'll need in order to craft the shadow protection potion. This potion is needed in the raid Blackfathom Deeps when you have to fight the second last encounter in the raid. When I found grave moss, I usually do it in Duskwood, either at the southeastern part or northwestern part. I also like to go to wetlands at this location, but you could also do it at the southern part of Barrens. There isn't that many spawning down here, but it is a solution if you don't want to go to another continent. I tested this farm in all the different zones, and I have to be honest, I feel like Duskwood has to be the best. The respawn time seems to be around 2 minutes, when some of the other zones it was around 5 minutes. What I like about farming herbs is that it's kinda RNG based. Sometimes you will be unlucky and only get 1 herb, when other situations you might be lucky enough to get all the way up to 3. And if you're lucky enough to get 3 of these, then you are also looking at more than 1 gold. Pretty decent for such an easy farm. In the previous episode, people also asked me about the add-on that I use for collecting herbs and veins all over the place and knowing the different spawn locations. The add-on that I use for this is called GatherMate 2, but you can't just install this add-on, you will also need GatherMate 2 data. GatherMate 2 data allow you to import all the different locations, so you don't have to run around and find these yourself. So all you have to do is go to import, and then you can merge whatever you would like. It could be nodes, it could be herbs, or even chests and other treasures all around the place. And then you simply just import GatherMate 2 by pressing on this button. In my case it's grey because I've already done it. For you it will most likely be a red button. For those of you that don't want to see all the different herbs, then you can go back to filters and deselect all herbs and now manually select what you're looking for. In my case it's going to be wild Steelbloom, and on my map I can now see all the different spawn locations and also plan my route. And the wild Steelbloom is definitely an herb you always need to make sure you collect. These sells for such a high amount of silver on the auction house, and you can also make around 5 to 15 gold by farming these every single hour. The reason why wild Steelbloom is expensive is because you need them for this elixir, and this elixir is needed if you wish to craft the best in slot leather gloves in phase 1. So you've probably already guessed that wild Steelbloom and grave moss is the herbs that I prefer to farm. But you should also be looking out for briarthorn. When you pick these up, there's a chance you will also get swift fistle, and on my server these sells for 15 silver right now. Pretty decent when you're just running around and collecting other herbs. And if you like to do herbalism, then you should definitely also head to a main city and purchase this 12 slot herb bag. One thing that has also made me a ton of gold is to do winter flips. so where you purchase different things at a vendor and post them on the auction house. For example, mana potions that can't be crafted in phase 1, but you can purchase these and sell them on the auction house. Because on the auction house I can currently sell them for a bit more than 1 gold each. Such a good profit. And then what you could be doing would be to make some bank characters, get them to the vendor locations, and then once in a while log in and see if there's more you can purchase. There are so many different locations all over the world where you can purchase items and flip them on the auction house. For example, also in Stranglethorn Vale, where I usually purchase this fishing pole. I pay around 10 silver and I can easily flip it for anywhere between 50 silver and all the way up to 1 gold. Or sell them on the neutral auction house. Talking about the neutral auction house, then it's also a great way to make gold. You could for example purchase different items that can only be purchased as one faction, but by posting them on the neutral auction house, you allow the other faction to also get their hands on them, and in some cases you can flip them for a high amount of gold. One of the best ways to get a lot of gold is to sell green and blue items at level 24 or 25, especially if you get yourself a ring, neck or even a leather helm. Some of these sells for a ton of gold, and what I like to do in order to get high level green and blue items is to kill enemies at level 28, 29 or level 30. The zone where I prefer to farm green and blue items the most has to be in Thousand Needles. I find it quite easy here, but also because there isn't too much competition, and the enemies that I prefer to kill has to be these. They drop grey items that sells for a high amount, heavy stones you can use for engineering or sell on the auction house, yeah, even elemental earth as well. But for those of you with skinning, then I would probably prefer to kill these instead, as you can skin them for medium, yes, sometimes even heavy leather, and they're also super easy to kill. The grey items they drop also sells for 6 silver each, so this is such a great farm. Another thing I've also done to make gold is to sell dungeon loot. So what I do as a rogue, but you could also do it as a druid, is to stealth to the boss that the person needs. When you have a decent amount of gear, then you can easily solo these, and then you have master loot, and before you trade the item, you also tell the player to give you the gold. In some cases you can sell these items for anywhere between 2 and all the way up to 10 gold. The price for small flame sacs has been increasing, and the reason for this is because you need them for fire protection potions. A potion you can't really use right now or craft, but in phase 2 Nomagan is going to be the new raid, and people are speculating if they're going to need fire protection potions to complete the new raid. Therefore the price has also gone up for small flame sacs, so now it's the perfect time for you to head to wetlands and kill these whelps, as they have a chance to drop the small flame sac. And if you're a skinner, then you can also collect hide, leather and scale at the same time, or even a pet if you're super lucky, but you don't need to be a skinner in order to collect this. A few days before the event began, I invested 1 gold into small eggs and I purchased these for next to nothing. Then when the event began, people were also desperate to get these to complete their quest, and I made a profit of more than 50 gold just from 1 single investment and 1 single gold. I'm going to do investments for phase 2. Yeah, I've already invested a lot of gold into phase 2 investments, and these I'll be sharing in a few days from now. So if you're interested in these, then make sure to also subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I publish the video.